Hey everyone, so welcome to our third season. We're going to kick it off with a trip we made to Mexico. We spent 6 weeks going into all kinds of really cool mines in Mexico. We started mining in Mexico about 500 years ago. The Spanish went in there and got all the silver for the Spanish Empire, and they've been mining there ever since. Just really cool historical stuff. There's all kinds of mines. We're just flying into Puerto Vallarta, so you can just kind of see the countryside, how it's laid out. On that side, there's lots of mountains, and there's no mines close to Puerto Vallarta, but they're up in the mountains in that area there. So we're just going to fly in there, and we'll kind of show you a little bit of what it looks like. There's a big valley opening up here. And so we're going to visit a whole bunch of locations. We're going to go to some old mines, some new mines. We're going to see some very old historic mining stuff and like some newer stuff. And this here, look in the middle of the picture there is actually the jail. Here's a shot. We'll just give you a little shot of the jail. It's really cool. It's a big penitentiary, Puerto Vallarta. Luckily, this is as close as we got to the jail. There we did go to a lot of places way back in the countryside, and there's lots of federales there, and they actually warned us that tourists weren't supposed to go back in here, but we went in there anyways and checked out the mines. We didn't have any problems whatsoever, but it's a little intimidating to see, federales there, 4 or 5 of them with a 50 caliber mounted on the back of a truck there. And, but they're real friendly to us. They just asked us a few questions, where we're going, if we're having any problems. And, yeah, you go back in the interior of Mexico where the real coal mines are, and there's no tourists there whatsoever. So here we are. Yeah, we're just flying into Puerto Vallarta, and we're going to land there. And the first place we're going is San Sabastion. So that's straight west. East, about 50 miles or so from there. And there's some Mexicans we met, and their kids took up these mines. So we're gonna take go to these mines with these kids, and they'd be the first mines that we check out around San Sabastion. So I hope you enjoyed the whole series, and we'll have one every week for you here. There you go. So this is our little Jeep that we got for the month. That's Renault Duster, so seems to work pretty good. And it's just a lot of work trying to find mines around here if you don't know the language. But yeah, it's pretty cool checking some of these places out. That is San Sabastion down the valley there, and here's the road that came up here. So yeah, we're just checking out a bunch of these little trails. This country is not really thick. There's lots of pine in here. Seems like a little dry. We're pretty high up in elevation. I think we're over 7,000 feet here. So it's not really a big deal hiking through here. It's not like real thick jungle or nothing like that. Not bad at all. So we're just going to take this trail, and probably be one of very many trails that we take trying to find mines in Mexico. Well, one thing that's a little different than about hiking in Canada is, yeah, cactuses, eh? So you just see these random cactuses growing everywhere. Not sure what they're called, but pretty dry climate here, obviously. See them big suckers growing here, and the pine trees look almost like the pine trees we got back home. They look like those ponderosa pine, but they're different. They got smaller cones. The hombres. The boys are taking me up to the mine. A pretty little mine. Whoa. There, that means Senderos La Minas, which is Senderos mine. So that's where we're heading, up there. So we found a little mine here, and it goes under this tree here, so we're just going to have a look and see how far we can get in. It's a little wet. That's okay. Pretty warm in here. Oh yeah, there's butterflies in here. Oh, look at these tree roots in here. Kind of cool. Butterflies. This is just in the dirt mostly. Kind of cool how these tree roots go in here. Let's see how far this goes in here. Quite warm in here. Oh yeah.
Yeah, there's our first Mexican mine. Looks like she's starting to fog up on us here a little lady. I don't know if they got rats in here or not. The water's running into the mine. A little unusual. I got a bunch of branches here. Yeah, that's a good little mine. I was getting fogged up all the time here. Really foggy. Very moist in here. The moisture keeps fogging up the lens, but yeah. Yeah, nothing really spectacular, but it's the first mine, so part of it was kind of caved in. Not really extensive. So it was a pretty small mine. Obviously, it was all, there's no railway in here. It was too narrow for that. Looks like it was all hand mined out of here. I don't know if that will go very far. Let's have a look. We're here now. Let's see how far we can get. The little branches in here. I've never been barefoot in a mine before. I don't want to get my shoes soaking wet. I have to walk for the rest of the day in wet shoes, so I'll just take them off. It goes in a little further here now. It's ever warm in here though. It's a little muddy in here too. We're on our hands and knees here. Into the mud. It's all fun. That's what we're here for. Yeah, looks like it might go a little higher here. Oh, yeah, okay. It's kind of partly caved in there. Oh, it's pretty, not much headroom here for sure. I don't know what a guy's gonna do about this moisture. You gotta wipe the camera about every few minutes. It's damp here, I couldn't believe. Oh. Yeah. Well, them guys must have been really short to work in these mines all the time. Yeah, we got an end there. Yeah, so that's it. Interesting looking ore though. Ore's looking like there. Alright, so we'll crawl back out. Alright, so we got a bit of a winze in here. It goes down into here. And she goes back in here. But it looks like it goes too far. Yeah, it's gonna go. Interestingly, you might not be able to see those butterflies, but they got their eyes just light right up. Oh, there's a bit of a raise here. It's not a snake, is it? Might be. Let's see, or a root. A root, I think. Pretty soft ore in here. I don't think they blasted this stuff at all. That's just a root. Yeah, I don't think he used any explosives in here at all. Interesting looking butterflies. They hang out in here. Here's a shot of that butterfly. There's real, I don't know, that's guano in here or what? Pretty kind of blackish shit on the floor. Boys are not too interested in going in these mines. I guess Mexicans probably don't like exploring mines, or maybe scared of them. Hard to say. There's different superstitions and stuff, so they don't go in the entrance at all. So there's a branch going this way. We could probably get in there. Look at all the spiders. Mucho spiders. Yeah, there's the boys waiting for me at the entrance. Okay. I think we can get by there. It's a pretty good winds here. Hopefully that's not too rotten, whatever it is. That seems to be alright. I'll go for my first swim. Yeah, there's definitely some kind of crap here. Taking her bats, but I don't know for sure. Bit of a raise here. Yeah, I think just keeping the dry feet in here today is going to be kind of a fantasy that I'm going to have to let go of. There we are. And there's a little rays going this way. Okay.
El video.
Look. Let's see this. Just a little vein in here, exposed vein. They mined out, doesn't look like it goes in too far. Pretty skinny in the back there. I don't want to go over that winds. Alright, so here's another one. Look at this one. Ooh, spiders like crazy. I didn't want our channel, I think. Pretty skinny in here. Yeah, this one seems like it's got to fog up too. Oh, lots of butterflies in here. I think the bats would like it in here, huh? Need some fucking heyday in here. Oh, there he goes. Bigger chamber in here. An interesting looking formation in here. Huh. Yeah. Some sulfides in here. Oh, a grande in here. There we are. Bit of a scoped out area in here. Pretty cool. Pretty skinny to get past this part though, I think. That's gonna go down there, but I don't know if we can get through there. We give her a try. Let's see if we can get in this part here. No. Fini. I can come in if you want. That's it.
Muy chido.
And finished. Oh, the boys are mine explorers now. I think we showed them how this works. They're hooked. All right. Let's see. This is a little bigger one, this one. Looks like you might have a train in here.
Mire. Mire. Ven.
You see something in there? Yeah. A little bit of iron there. Yeah. Yeah, this is more like what we're used to seeing, except the rock is kind of crumbly. It's supposed to go in about 60 meters. According to the sign, this is the one with all the bats in it. Holy mine. This is more like what we would imagine mines was going to be like. Not them little prospect tunnels. Pretty colorful red. There's some oxide in there. Really red here. Iron oxide probably. Try to catch some butterflies. There's a little raise there. Oh yeah.
La venda. Esa es la venda.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a deposit in here. Too much. Tiny little room in here. Oh yeah.
Hace calor. Hace calor. Mira.
Oh yeah. Here, see yourself, look.
Let's put your money.
Oh, there are parrots here.
Hace calor. Ya la puedo retirar.
The first mine they didn't want to go into, but I'm not sure now. But the others are smaller too, though. It's supposed to go in about 60 meters. Not a bad size gold mine. Yeah.
Milo. Espera, mire. Alto, venga, alto. Mire,
Oh, yeah.
explosivo.
Oh, yeah, drill. Yeah. See? Yeah. The drill.
Acá.
Bum, 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 bum.
Allá, ahí. Cuidado.
Oh, there's an ore chute right up there. Maybe not too high. Looks like it ends right
Parece que
there.
hay un camino allá. Sí, ¿pero no ven? Sí. Háganla. Acá traemos un... Está muy chido. Sí. Parece que hay otro camino.
That's okay.
Mira. ¿Qué? Aquí, arribita. Sube para acá, arribita.
That's okay. Let's go this way.
Allá.
See.
Allá, murciélagos. Murciélagos.
Ándale.
Ahí vale por aquí. También acá hay hueco. Oh, mira. Aquí es posible.
Yeah. See?
Mire, aquí también. Ya lo veo. Ay, no. Agáchate, ven, agáchate. Uy, no me digas eso. Ven, agachadito, ven. Ven, agachadito. Sí, cuidado.
Oh, there's a bat there. Look, see. Look, hey, see. Look. Bat, bat. See? Bat.
Oh,
It's okay.
murciélago.
It's okay. It's a bat. See?
Murciélago.
Up there.
¿Sí lo viste, el murciélago?
Yeah.
No se ve otro.
Yeah, I figured there was bats in here because I seen guano.
Mira, ve a cazar murciélagos.
And it scared the boys a little.
Mira, ya no hay.
Yeah.
La luz, ahora sí, se vendieron murciélagos.
Oh, here comes the bat.
Murciélago. ¿Es un murciélago? No, había en el primer está un murciélago. Enfrente del señor. La luz ya no quiere prender.
See if that bat comes back and then get another shot of him. There he is. Yeah, he might go out. There they come. Here comes the bats. Huh? Oh. I figured there'd be bats in here eating all those moths.
Paloma,
The moths are almost the same size as the bat.
paloma, paloma. Murciélago, 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 murciélago. Murciélago, sí, murciélago.
Here comes another one.
Murciélago, murciélago. No sé qué se dice.
Here it comes.
Murciélago, murciélago, murciélago. Murciélago, murciélago. No, lo dejan pasar para que se queme la luz.
Hey, just go down, down. Oh, it's okay. There's 3 bats in there.
Mira,
Well, yeah, just leaving San Sabastion onto the Rosario, I guess, I think. And they've been doing a lot of sampling along. This is a little vehicle that I have here. It's 4-wheel drive. It's not a bad little truck. Renault Duster. It's got like 15,000 clicks on it. It's going to be pretty dusty by the time I'm done with it. Just beautiful going, driving through this mountainside. The roads haven't met anyone yet, so it's not used by a lot of people. Apparently there's bus service here, so there is traffic here. Pretty steep country. And yeah, so we're just keeping an eye out for some mines. So as you can see, the road's in pretty good shape, but she's up and down. I don't know how old this road would be. It looks like it's had some work recently. Very scenic. Let's see all these pretty big cliffs and stuff in here, lots of rock formations. Looks like pretty solid rock in here. Yeah, they ran a grader or something to the road, really smartened it up. See, they've been testing for rock and all these different, or taking samples all along here, so pretty recently they've been in here with the hole, digging all this up. So yeah, she get a pretty good view of the surrounding countryside here. Haven't really seen much for wildlife, a few birds, that's about it. A little slow going on these roads, but not really bad shape at all, really. Yeah, so we found another mine here. It just looked too suspicious to me, that being a corner and it being level. And it looked like something was going on here, and indeed there was. So this is... I know there's a bunch of big mines around here somewhere that are active, apparently. So let's see what we can find in here. Oh, lots of the moths. Oh, lots of bats too. The bats don't seem to like us being around. It's not like in Canada where the bats aren't bothered by you coming in too much. But here they don't seem to like it. Boy, lots of food for bats though. Those moths, huge. You can barely tell a bat from the moth. Look at the spiders in here. All right.
lots of bats here. They don't like to go out either, so. See that bat flying around in there? Oh, might not have been looking right at him. There's the bat. Not too happy that we're here. There's a raise there. Let's see if that actually goes anywhere. Well, there's moths are hitting in the head all the time. You know, bats are. That doesn't go anywhere. There's a raise going up there. Yeah, the bats are about twice the size of the moths. Huge moths. The moths are hitting you in the head all the time, but the bats aren't, so. It looks like pretty good aura here. Some type. Decent sized rays here. Really don't need to be intimidated by bats. They won't hit you. I don't want to go right up there though. Because they don't want to go outside and there's nowhere for them to go really, so. I don't want to be climbing way up that raise anyhow. Looks like it might be going up to higher levels there. That'd be interesting anyways. Bats really don't want to go outside. They just kind of duck down and they go past you. Well, we hiked over this ridge. We're close to where we figured this mine was, and sure enough, it's definitely a mine. Yeah, I would say it's an operating mine, but look at that tailings pond. That's got to be the scariest tailings pond I've ever seen. I mean, that's not waiting for a breach. What is? There's a pretty steep grade going down here, so I guess there's no way to get up here and need four-wheel drive when it's slick. So they paved it with cobblestones. Amazing, it's just like a bush road trail, and all of a sudden you see it's all paved. Well, you know, you gotta say, it's a really tough job scouring the back roads of Mexico for mines, you know, but you take your pleasures where you can. So, yeah, this is just a beautiful drive down in through here. And we come along this road, and we thought, piss on it. We'll just spend the rest of the day sitting by the river, drinking a few beer, and we're gonna camp there for the night. So, we'll take up exploring Abandoned Mines in the morning, I guess.